Okay guys, we're rolling.
Yo no quiero llantos, yo no quiero penas, no quiero tristezas, yo no quiero nada.
Guanajuato, a hidden gem among Mexico's colonial cities. This town of mines, mummies, and music sits tucked away in one of the country's most notorious regions, where prosperity and violence often live side by side. But the little village capital of Guanajuato State remains mostly immune to cartel activity. The Spanish founded Guanajuato as a royal mining operation in 1548 by order of Antonio de Mendoza, the first viceroy of New Spain. Echoes of Mexico's colonial past ring out daily through Guanajuato's squares, stepped neighborhoods, and winding streets, as church bells peal and the city's buildings testify as living history to the town's Spanish roots. At the center of town lies the Jardín de la Unión, or in English, the Garden of the Union, the beating heart of Guanajuato. Flanked by the Juarez Theater, cafes, and restaurants, the promenade blends a bit of Eden with small-town colonial style. At night, the plaza transforms into a hub of festive activity, featuring traditional Mexican music and some of the country's most delectable bites, from street food to the exquisite. There's a silver lining to everything, especially in Guanajuato. And it was the region's rich silver reserves that fueled its growth from the very beginning. The Valenciana mine boasts the deepest and most extensive mining network in Guanajuato. But every rose has its thorns, and Guanajuato is no different. Behind the veneer of beautiful churches and cathedrals lies something more sinister. Owned by the Counts of Valenciana, mining operations began at the massive silver vein in 1774 on the backs of local Indian labor, whose extraction efforts accounted for 20% of the world's silver during the age of exploration. A fact that still leaves many Mexicans uneasy with their colonial past. Deep in the heart of Guanajuato's desert lies the Zoltalar Ranch, run by the Marin family, who have owned the property for nearly 5 generations. In Guanajuato, like much of Mexico, food remains a family affair, and Maria Luisa, the family's eldest homemaker, cooks up a storm in the kitchen as I prepare for a delicious lunch with Felix, the ranch's owner, and his nephew Leo. From the fresh cheese to the tortillas and jalapenos, everything consumed on the ranch comes from the ranch. With the corporatization of the cattle business in Mexico, the Marin family opened their ranch up to the public for horseback excursions and trail rides. Translating for his uncle Felix, Leo Marin, who lived for some time in Oklahoma, explains the rich history of ranching enjoyed by his family and how their current venture took off.
Well, at the beginning it was really hard. Uncle Felix came up with the idea to do something like this. Because these guys, these kids, they love this ranch. They love horses, they love what they're doing every day. But it was really hard to make a little money here at the house. So he came up with the idea, what about if someone like to come over and spend time and, little time here at the ranch and we can charge a little money. Of course, the beginning was a little hard, only friends tell a friend that we were offered these adventures. And we were accepting only tips a pay. But some friends from the state come and did a tour and say, you guys gotta do this as a business, it's a huge thing. And now think of that, all these guys have they can make a little extra money here at home. They don't have to immigrate as soon. They can spend time here doing what they love and make a, little extra money here. My great-grandfather, he used to live at Guanajuato City at the silver mines. So he made a little money and moved to San Miguel. Of course, that was like 80 years ago. Moved to San Miguel and bought some properties there, San Miguel Central. But he loved all the agriculture stuff, raising cattle and all that. And when he found out that this land was for sale, he sold some of his properties in San Miguel and bought this land. When they first arrived here, there were no houses at the ranch. So they had to live in the caves till they built the first house. Eventually, they built second, third. Right now, there's 6 houses at the ranch, and each owner of the house is one of my dad's brothers. So we all family. I hope you guys feeling like part of the family too. Thank you very much.
Venga acá, venga que hoy mi son van a se oye. Venga acá, venga que hoy mi son van a
Among the dozens of cafes and eateries in the Garden of the Union, restaurant Casa Valadez stands above the rest for its fusion of tradition and modern Mexican cuisine. Founded in 1950, the restaurant is led by award-winning chef Karen Valadez. Maestro Jorge Preza has played at Valadez for over 2 decades and attended Juilliard in the United States. While he's not at Valadez performing Mexican classics and the Great American Songbook, Jorge dedicates his time to the local symphony and giving concerts at establishments around town. One such venue lies a brisk 10-minute walk from Valadez. Foro Cultural 81 brings together the modern art community and often partners with Border Crossings, an expatriate-run group in Guanajuato focused on bridging cultures through music. The group features a wide variety of genres and musicians, including Jorge and American expat and singer Mark Allen, known locally as Don Marcos. The forum's bookend sits just around the corner near the town center. An admixture of art, music, culture, and gastronomy, you'll often find Jorge and Don Marcos practicing in the nearby loft. Next door, the Costal Cultural Cafeteria, where I sit down to discuss life, love, and music with Don Marcos and Jorge.
Sanchez was born in Chiapas, Mexico, in the south of Mexico. And he used to play marimba, piano, trumpet, and he was a composer and an arranger.
Por los suspiros, ay, muchacha, muchacha.
When I met them, I could hear these wonderful arrangements to Mexican music like Chelito Lindo, Guadalajara, El Cascabel, all that music put into jazz.
Cuánto barco en el puerto de Málaga.
A couple of years ahead, I was invited to play with them in the band.
Play with them?
Yeah, so I was part of Hilario Sanchez Quartet. And that was for me very important. We even toured Canada and Europe. We went to Spain to play. I would say that one of my favorite American composers and musicians has been Dave Brubeck. Why is that so? Because my mother used to tell me that when I was a little kid, maybe 5, 6 years old, whenever I used to hear Take 5 playing on the radio, I would just go excited and listen to it. I do not remember that. I was very little, but I think that was very important in my life because nowadays this is one of my favorite songs when I play piano solo. Last year, Don Marcos approached me one day and suggested we practice some songs together, some jazz ballads, romantic ballads, and so we did. We started to have some rehearsals here in Casa Cuatro, the gallery, with the piano, the beautiful piano.
I saw Jorge in the orchestra playing contrabajo, and then I would see him in Café Valadez playing piano solo and also with a small jazz group. And I often saw him on a spur of the moment, a song request or to accommodate a key change for the singer and transpose a song into a different chord. His flexibility as well as his artistry is what caught my eye initially. If you have a broad interest in music, if it speaks to your heart and soul, it could be hip-hop, it could be Chopin, but the things that truly speak to your heart and to your soul, these will always be very valuable to you. And Jorge is open to all kinds of excellent music in many genres, but you have to be discerning and discriminating.
I agree totally.
As I close out my time in Guanajuato, I can't help but reflect not only on the richness of the music, but the beauty of the people. A city of silver with a heart of gold.
Solaro! Give him a big hand! In the best coffee house tradition, we need you to sing with us. And I'll tell you what you've got to sing. Are you ready? 2, 3, 4. One more. Great. Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4.